Hello everybody, Joe here with Garden of Bluma. In today's video I want to take you guys on a backyard tour. It is the end of June here. I'm in the Phoenix, Arizona area, growing zone 9B. We are coming out of a couple really scorching hot weeks of pushing close to 120 consistently. So just wanted to show you guys how everything's looking right now, what's going on here. Here is my Coachella Sapodilla, and if I get up close here, you can see it's got a bunch of flower buds on it. This thing actually bloomed, both of my Sapodillas bloomed pretty late this year for some reason, not sure why. But they're all loaded in flowers now. I've had luck with getting one fruit set on this, so not very productive so far. And down here next to it is one of my canistills. See, that's grown from seed. Here is my Bradenton loquat tree. And this is doing pretty well here. Gotten quite large. Had a bunch of fruit on this year, so it was pretty productive. Okay, here's my other Sapodilla. This is the Silas Woods. This one's growing in a container, whereas the other's in the ground. And you can see it's really green, really healthy. So the heat hasn't caused too much problems for these guys. And again, it's flowering like crazy right now. Hoping to get some fruit set. Back behind it here is my Indonesian seedless guava. And I think I see one potential fruit on it, but hasn't really had much for fruit production. One of my loquat seedlings in the ground there. Here are my Rosboro blackberries. You can see some of the old canes are dying out there. And because it's so thorny, it's hard to really prune that out, so I'm just kind of letting it go. My Subel white sapote. Come around. Okay, here we go. You can see it a little better now. It's kind of filling out, and I have one fruit down in there. Here is my red hybrid Jaboticaba. This is growing really nice, filling out here. I believe I started this in 2017 from seed. Here is my wax jambu. This is the black pearl variety. It's taken a little bit of a beating from the sun and heat, but still doing pretty well. My Sprite Delight cherry plum wedged in here. Kind of debating whether or not I may just cut this tree out and open up some more light for my orange and peach tree behind it. You can see I've got a few plums on it. They are very small. Cherry-like in appearance, but tastes just like a general like store-bought plum, so nothing too special. I was hoping it tastes more like a cherry, being that it's a cherry plum, but it's more just the size of the plums. Back behind this is my early Grand peach tree. Had a ton of peaches this year. Cat going up it. Here is one of my other canistil seedlings. This one has got quite large and tall here, as you can see, and this one is growing in a container, whereas the other two are in the ground. Here's my Caracara navel orange. filling out really well. I have oranges on this for the first time. I think there are like 8 maybe. My scraggly looking Meyer lemon there in a pot. We have like 1 lemon on it this year. It's pretty loaded. It tends to alternate. And right behind that is one of my Adamoyas, African Pride, grown from seed. And I pruned that back aggressively, but it's just totally filled back out again. Looks really good. I haven't seen any fruit set on it. I tried to hand pollinate this year again, but doesn't look like I've had much luck. Here are my Crimson Sweet watermelons, which I've done videos on watermelons, and typically I've done the Desert King variety, which has done really well for me. This year I tried to mix it up a little bit. You can see one right there that's getting close. I have, I believe, 6 in here. And I've really struggled in the past with the red flesh varieties, but this year it looks like I'm gonna have some success. My tomatoes are frying up here. I've just kind of let them go now. They don't like our extreme temps and sun and heat. Another view of the Adamoya. Next to it I have my Sherwood Jujube, which I always prune back aggressively, but it still just fills right back out. And it's got quite a few fruit on it this year. My Parfianca pomegranate, you can see that I've protected some of the fruit with bags there, organza bags. Here is my Tango Mandarin. This is the youngest tree in my yard. It was planted last year. It's filled out nice. It actually has 2 fruits on it. I'm not sure if they'll stay or not. My Barbie pink guava there in the container, and this thing has a ton of fruit on it. So guavas are highly productive for the most part, and they'll do well, as you can see here, even in a container, and fruit productively. Back behind there is my Barbados cherry, which has flowered a lot throughout the year so far, but hasn't really produced much anything. So that's disappointing. Hopefully, as it cools down towards the end of the summer, I'll get some on that. I did these honey melons, which are a variety of like cantaloupe. And you can see there's one there. They're pretty small. I have 4 of them, and I'm actually growing this in a container as well, so it's doing well. It's produced 4 melons. Here's my dwarf ever-bearing mulberry. And I pruned this back aggressively about a month ago, and now it's starting to fill back out again after fruiting season. Here is my Peruvian white guava. I also aggressively pruned this year, and it just fills right back out. And again, just this little branch right here, you can just see like all the guavas in here. This thing is loaded with guavas. So I'm gonna have a huge crop of guavas. My Jamaican cherry that I've grown in a container for several years, and lots and lots of fruit you can see there on all the branches. Look like that. Here's my other African Pride Adamoya seedling, which is also in a container. And again, I tried hand pollinating this as well. Didn't have any luck that I can see with fruit set on it this year. Had a couple in the past, but they've never made it to maturity. And I love this tree here. This is my Ida mango. Flushing out some new growth there up top. You can see it's looking really good for as much sun as it gets and our scorching heat that we've had. It did not produce anything this year. Last year was the first time it ever produced any fruit, as it's been grown from seed. And it's probably in its 6th year, I'd say, from seed. So in year 5 it produced. This year, for whatever reason, it didn't. I don't know if it's more of like an alternating bearing or just the weather or something. So hopefully next year it'll be loaded again. And then up front, I have all my figs. So my Black Mission here, which is loaded. See all these figs everywhere. And see some that are about ready there. I've started to get some figs that have ripened recently. This is my Violet de Bordeaux. See some of the figs. Peter's Honey next to it. And Conandria, which that one looks like it's getting really close. Yeah, it feels like it. And back here is the rest of my mangoes, along with my sugar apple back there. I'll come to the back side of it. But I have a kit mango hidden back in there, my Carrie mango in the container there, and then Gary is right here. Okay, I'm on the back side here now of my mango trees. There's my 3rd canistil seedling. This one's doing really well. Probably about 4 feet tall now. And you can see these get scorched really easily in our sun. So if you're planting canistil, make sure it's only getting like morning sun, or else you'll definitely see some burn on the leaves. Okay, so here is my Carrie mango, and you can see a few mangoes down there. I don't have very many mangoes this year. I think the Carrie has 2 to 3 on it. The Gary back in here has like 3 on it. And then my kit, you can see back in there, has 4 or 5 on it. And here's my sugar apple. Growing also in a container. And I pruned this aggressively this year, and it's flushed out a lot of growth. I think the sugar apple is probably the best for growing here in Arizona. It really takes our sun and heat really well. This gets a lot of sun here, and you don't see too much burn on it. So it definitely does well in our summers here. It's a little bit more cold sensitive though than the other Nonas. So you will have to potentially protect it in really cold nights. And there you can see a fruit set there. It seems to be a little bit easier to get fruit set on it than the other Nonas. I noticed some people posting pictures of sugar apple fruit set, so it seems to be one that you can actually maybe get a few fruits on here without our humidity, because these definitely like humidity, especially for pollination. And we are just so dry here, so these Anonas are tough to get fruit set on. All right, check me out at gardenofluma.com for more tips on gardening and growing fruit trees, especially in hot, dry climates. Thanks for watching.